Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are watching this in the world today. We're going to jump right into it. This will be for the week of 18 July. So we have a lot of motivational quotes, and I'm just going to jump right into them because we have a lot. I want to make sure I get everything in. So the first one, what you lack in talent can be made up with desire, hustle, and giving 110% all the time. All right, interest rates. So we do have a break in those. All right, so what should you do before interest rates rise? It has, I believe, a couple suggestions here. Sell and move up, or sell and move down. So if you're selling and moving up, you're adding to the family. Maybe you're going to a single family home, to a multi-generational. You have parents moving back in so you can take care of them. If you're selling and moving down, maybe you have kids going off to college and you're becoming empty nesters. And refinancing. So if you're refinancing, you're just attempting to lower your payments or possibly take cash out. All right, next. Motivational quote. Every day, I like to wake up and remind myself to be grateful of the simple things. Don't forget to do that, the simple things. All right, Freddie Mac. I have a post from Freddie Mac. It says the housing market expected to remain strong despite major supply shortages and historically high house prices across the U.S., even though it's slowing sales. So read all about that. Another quote, don't go through life, grow through life. Then we have another motivational. All right, it is your excuses just gave someone else an opportunity. Another one, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. Next, I have a short video. This was taken from WFAA, which is a local Dallas news station here, and it is the Texas Eviction Diversion Program. So if renters are facing eviction, there are several options for relief. Excuse me. So watch that video and maybe see what options you have available to you. This next article, 3 charts that show this isn't a housing bubble. So let's see. I had some notes on that. Okay, so one is the housing market isn't driven by risky mortgage loans. 2, the homeowners aren't using their homes as ATMs this time. 3, this time it's simply a matter of supply and demand. So that is why the experts, and I believe as well, that this is not a housing bubble, a housing crash as we experienced, 2007, 2008. All right. Okay, next I have a short video from the Mortgage Nerds with Denise and her team, and it is asking if you know what the difference or what the 2 most common home loans are. And they are FHA and conventional, but do you know the difference between the 2? So watch that video, educate yourself. Let's see. Going through here, making sure I give you guys the highlights of the week. All right, so this next one is applying for a mortgage. So W-2 employees, you're going to need 30 days of pay stubs, 60 days of bank statements. You're going to need to consider overtime, bonuses, commission, or allowances, a year-end pay stub from the previous 2 years. That is what you will need. Now for self-employed, 1099, or you have rental income, like myself, you're going to need a full tax return for the last 2 years, and you're going to need 60 days of personal bank statements. So start gathering that information, and also, don't let it be a surprise when they ask you for those items. Surprises are not good. All right, mortgage nerd again with some bubble or not. Is this a housing bubble crash or not? Okay, so in 2007, the bubble was dominated by 100% financing, which means that buyers put down no equity, no down payment, interest only loans, which means the principal was not even reduced at all. ARMs, which the payment was not secured, so they were adjustable. Very few cash transactions. Appraisers were pressured, by the lenders and real estate agents. Unstable buyers, no credit, no problem. So they were just, giving out houses like hotcakes. Multiple home purchases at once. Anyone could be an investor with zero down. Jobs, growth in construction, tourism. So now versus what we're experiencing now, the market is dominated by today. You need a down payment and you need reserves required. So you need to have some money in the bank. You need to have a down payment. We have 30. You have 15 as well, but traditional, most common, I would say, is 30-year fixed principal. Interest loans are the norm. Today, a 30-year fixed loan, fully amortized, which is basically equal payments, spread out for the duration of that time, that 30-year. More cash than ever in the market. Appraisers report to a third-party agency now. So they don't report to the banks, the lenders, or the real estate agents. So they're not pressured by them or us, real estate agents. More stable buyers. That means they have better credit and they have more cash. The intent to occupy and a large down payment required for investors. So people are planning on staying in their houses longer. And if you want to invest in these properties, you need to have a large down payment. It's not just, sign and drive. You got it. So that's the difference between 2007, when the market did crash, and our current times. All right. When should you refinance? We just talked about this a few slides ago. It depends on your goals. Just because your payments decrease or your rate goes down doesn't mean it makes sense to refinance. Typically, the only reason you should refinance is to decrease the interest you pay over the life of the loan, lower your monthly payments to help with cash flow, or pull equity out of your home. And it says the last two are self-explanatory. So most people are only going to be in their homes for 5 to 8 years is the average. Always weigh the closing costs against the monthly savings to determine how long you'll have to stay in the home to actually recoup the savings. So when you refinance, there's going to be a cost associated. Maybe just say, I don't know, $5,000 for easy numbers. So if you're not going to be saving enough monthly to recoup that $5,000 that you spent to refinance, then it's not in your best interest to refinance. Long story short. DPA, down payment assistance, is our next one. I'm scrolling through here. I have a lot of stuff, but I want to make sure I get to what I think is most important for you guys. Down payment assistance. All right, so you can just Google your city plus down payment assistance. You should do this no matter how good your lender is. There are various types of assistance, grants. You don't have to be repaid. Forgivable loans, you need to stay in the home a set number of years. And then you have no/low interest loans, repaid in tandem with your primary mortgage. So you're paying them at the same time as your mortgage. And just be aware that there are down payment assistance pretty much all the time. It's just a matter if you qualify for them or not. Okay, so what's stopping you from getting a mortgage? Don't let these things prevent you from getting a mortgage. Only interviewing with one realtor or lender, not providing your lender with income docs. Legally, a lender cannot demand these documents, but you're doing yourself a disservice and your pre-approval won't be as strong. changing your financial profile after a pre-approval. This includes changing jobs, a promotion that changes your pay scale, salary to commission, for example, moving money in or out of your account. Those are all possible red flags. Okay, right along with that, what does a lender evaluate during your loan process? So the lender is going to evaluate three things typically during your mortgage process. They're all equally important. Think of them like a stool. So you have three legs to the stool or it'll tip over. So your income in relation to your debt, which is your DTI, your debt to income ratio, funds to cover the closing costs, and your credit. Let's see. All right, motivational mistakes are the portal of discovery. Then we have some key terms to know: affordability, appraisal, contingency, and equity. You need to know those terms. If not, get familiar with them. Very important to the process. Another video, short video from the Mortgage Nerd and her team, Denise. What is the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval? So basically, in short, a pre-qualification is just your word of mouth. I make this much, I've been working here this long. A pre-approval is where you start putting, the facts in. So you're sending documentation to verify what you told. I make this much, so here's my pay statements. I have this much in my bank, so here's my bank statement. Okay, I have a post here for some important questions to ask new construction home builders. For example, can you provide a standardized feature sheet? How do you segregate funds by customer or project? Can you provide a detailed project cost estimate? How will my payment schedule be structured? Because you have to realize these new construction home builders, they have their own contracts. They don't use our state of Texas promulgated forms. They have their own set of forms. That's why you still need a realtor on your side looking out for you and your best interests. All right, motivational quote. Every diamond God created, he first put under pressure. Remember that. Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but sometimes playing a poor hand well. And then I have two separate videos of a home showing that I did in Crawley this weekend. Check those out. And let's see. What else do I have here? Okay, so it's kind of a funny quote. I'd much rather wear out than rust out. And I think this is going to be our last one. Let me see. Be curious, not judgmental. That was another quote, but I think I have one more that I wanted to. Okay, can a grocery store affect home value? Yes, it can. 1 mile radius, it can raise property value between $8,400 to $1,860. This is just a estimate. 3 mile radius, $6,000 roughly to $1,000 or down to $1,000. 5 mile radius, $4,100 down to approximately $800. But the key is that it can adjust your home and property value. So let's see. I think I have one more quote that I want to read to you and end it off with this. So if you treat people like they make a difference, they will. All right, so with that, I appreciate you guys for tuning in for another episode of The Week in Review with myself, Realtor Rob. And until next time, take care of yourself and those around you. This is Realtor Rob signing off.